Hey y'all, hey, thank you all for joining me on my YouTube channel or whichever platform that you may hear this on. I am Coach Gant, the Rage Coach. What's going on, everybody? Hey y'all. You know when you see me, you know I got a live question and answers. Hey y'all. I got a live Q&A that I'm gonna I got 5 most frequently asked questions concerning the rage that I have dealt with. Last week we talked about rejection, and rejection was last week. You will go back to my YouTube and look at that. This week we're going to talk about abandonment. Abandoned by people but loved by God, right? So for some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know, but I am Coach Gant, the Rage Coach. Rage identifies with rejection, abandonment, guilt, and embarrassment. If you ever dealt with any of those, then I'm pretty sure you dealt with rage, right? I'm here today, and I'm going to do a live Q&A. I'm going to act ask the questions that was asked to me, and I'm going to answer them. My sister friend Day, she couldn't be here. She doesn't feel well. So I want you guys to keep her covered in your prayers that she feels well. Next week, hopefully, she'll feel better and she'll be here and she'll ask me the questions, and I'll answer them. But today, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to ask the questions that was sent in, and I'm going to answer them with you guys. Hey, y'all. I miss y'all. I really do. So, the title of this one is Abandoned by People but Loved by God. So, I'm going to get straight into it, right into it. The first question that was asked was, when did you first experience feelings of abandonment? Um, so the feelings of abandonment I first felt when I was about 12 or 13, when I went to go stay with, when I had the opportunity to go stay with my dad, and my dad chose my sister. I really felt abandoned at that time. Although we was abandoned before then, when my mom gave us to family members, I didn't, I guess because I was a little younger, I didn't really feel abandoned. I guess I just was happy to go stay with someone. But as I got older and that happened, that really made me feel abandoned, if I could be honest. Because he chose, my sister and didn't allow me to come and stay with him. That really was, caused the feelings of it. Number two, can you describe what that moment felt like for you? If I could be honest, it felt like me standing at the end of a cliff and looking down and realizing that there's no one there to catch me. Because again, when you abandoned by your parents, then it's like, who else do you got, right? Like, if you want to be honest, like when you look around, who else is there? If your parents don't got you, then who else? That's what my mental was. So just imagine standing at the end of a cliff and just looking down and realizing that if you fall, nobody got you. Number three, who was involved in that experience? My parents, because you can't hold nobody else to something that there's not their responsibility. So my parents was involved in me feeling that way, if that makes sense. That experience, I can say that my parents, I can say some family members, but I don't want to put that, burden or responsibility on them because it's not their responsibility. So, but I can definitely say that my parents were. How did that experience affect your sense of like safety, security? It definitely caused emotional instability for me, and difficulty trusting others. It really caused a difficulty for me to trust other people because again, when your mother and your father forsake you, then you feel like you don't have nobody. But thanks be to God, because I understand the scripture, when your mother and your father forsake you, abandon you, I will be there to pick you up, right? So I understand that scripture now. So, but that that's what it definitely caused emotional instability and difficulty trusting others, which followed me into my adulthood, right? Because it was definitely hard for me to trust people, and it caused my emotions for me not to be in touch with my emotions as well, because you don't want to be hurt, you don't want to be let down. So it definitely caused emotional instability. And this is the last question. I talk fast, right? Where were there any defenses you developed to protect yourself from feeling abandoned? Absolutely. There were several. It caused me to be emotional detached, right? Like not really in tune with my emotions, didn't want to feel because you don't want to be let down. Hyper independence, like, oh, I got it, I'm good, like I take care of myself, just so me not to be dependent on the one, so I don't feel abandoned by them. And minimizing my needs, like when I needed help, minimizing it because you don't want to be abandoned. So that was my defense. um that it definitely has called a cause for me. But as I'm going through my healing, and as I'm, growing my closer to God, I really put my trust and my everything in Him. Some people may think, that is weird or it's crazy, but I definitely put my trust and everything into God, because I know that He had me. Because in my darkest moments, in my darkest times, it was nobody but God that I could depend on. And I still do to this day. So, it may be weird, but the ones that get it definitely understand. And I believe that I had to walk through this journey out for me to fully put my trust and everything into God, because He won't let me down. He hasn't let me down. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for I know that He has me, and I think that was the whole purpose of me going through the abandonment, going through the rejection, just for me to solely depend on God. You know what I'm saying? And it's solely for me to develop my faith and my strength in God. So for that, I count it all as joy. He told me to turn from raging to raging His word. I I'm not rejected. I'm resilient. I'm not abandoned. I affirmed God's word, right? I don't deal with embarrassment. I embrace the very thing that kept me out of purpose, right? I turn from guilt into glorifying His word. So I turn from rage into raging His word. It's all about our perspective. It's all about how we look at things. It's all about how we perceive things. So, my nose is itching. Excuse me. So it's all about how we perceive things. It's all about how, you know, we look at things. And I'm sharing my life experiences on the things that I have experienced when it came to my rage. Last week, again, like I talked about my rejection of where the rage came from with me. I'm gonna do it. Last week was again rejection. This week is abandonment. Um, excuse me. This week was abandonment. Next week is going to be guilt, and the following week is going to be embarrassment, because I want to share, like, I have went through rage. I have went through the experiences, and I'm sharing my life experience because why not? Each one teach one, right? We all experienced it, right? At some point in our life. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. The questions that was asked of me, it's just 5 frequent asked questions that was asked of me. So I'm sharing it with you all. I love you all with the love of Christ. I hope that got some understanding of, you know, abandonment, which I didn't really teach on abandonment and share anything. I just shared my experiences with it, but I want you guys to also understand that I'm human. I go through things. I have experienced things. This is why God has gifted me with the 4 key step blueprint, the boot camp, the mentorship program, the vent sessions, because we're In Psalms 37 verse 8, it said, turn from your anger, do not lose your temper, it only leads to harm. Do not turn from rage, do not lose your temper, it only leads to harm. So I'm just being obedient, and I'm just sharing with you guys that I turned from it into raging his word. I love you all with the love of Christ. Be blessed. Bye for now.